covering the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is WPBF 25 News at 5.
Here's an interesting question. Does your eyesight seem to be getting worse?
There could be a very good reason for that, and this could be part of the problem.
How close is too close to hold your smartphone? If you're like me, the closer, the better. But as I recently discovered, the more I read my phone, the worse my eyes get.
I think a lot of things that are occurring with our mobile devices is because we are straining our eyes and not giving our eyes proper rest. Man, you have beautiful lashes, Gwen. What do you use?
Dr. Barry Schechter is an eye surgeon at the Florida Eye Microsurgical Institute in Boynton Beach.
We are now reading much more and using our eyes much more in concentration than we ever have before. Instead of just using our eyes at work, on our computer or shuffling papers around, we now go home, we look at our mobile devices to check our email, to communicate via social networking. More and more now that's becoming an issue.
Recently, Schechter told me that there are basically 3 issues at play when it comes to eye strain and our smartphones. First, we're not blinking as much. A normal blinking rate is 16 to 20 blinks per minute. When we're reading our mobile devices, it drops to just 6 to 8 blinks a minute.
What you're not doing is you're not bathing the surface of the eye in nutrients and oxygen, causing fatigue, dryness, and blurring, and sometimes headache.
The second issue is called asthenopia.
Asthenopia is basically when you're focusing your eyes at one point for an excessive period of time. You're not allowing the muscles to relax, and the muscles are constantly flexing, and they get tired.
Finally, something called vergence accommodation is also affecting our eyes.
Basically, that is a conflict where we have a mobile device, where we have to focus on the light coming off, which is at a certain distance, and then the content that's on the mobile device, which may be either in front or behind, depending on how the device is set up. So you have that conflict where your eyes are going back and forth between the light source and the actual content, and that can cause a headache and fatigue as well.
There are ways to reduce eye fatigue when using your mobile devices. Increase the font size, hold the device a little farther away, blink more frequently, and use artificial tears if necessary.
So that's a good recommendation for people.
It's a great recommendation.
Dr. Schechter also likes a voice dictation app that he uses frequently. He can send an email or text without having to type on a keyboard or look at a screen.
And here's a really good rule to help keep your eyes healthy while you're using your smartphone. It's called the 10-10-10 rule. The doctor says every 10 minutes, give your eyes a break and look at something 10 feet away for at least 10 seconds, and that lets the eye muscles relax. So it's pretty easy to remember, 10-10-10.
Yeah, you can't forget that. Now, what about the larger screens, like the iPads, the Nooks, the Kindles?
Well, because the iPads and all those devices have larger fonts, they're not quite as bad as a smartphone, but you know there's that big glare on them, and that backlighting can cause some issues. Less of a problem with the Kindles and Nooks because they have really more natural light. They don't have the glare like the iPad has. Also, this is interesting. Studies have shown recently that children who work in dim lighting or they hold things too close, they do have an increased chance of myopia or nearsightedness.
Yeah,
so I've really found my eyes have gotten worse because I'm like this.
And we all have them. You see people walking around just about a foot away. Great information. Now